Morning to all. Today we discussed here about there some electronics and electrical system or chapter number 6 in vehicle engineering. In this last lecture, in last two lecture we discussed about here some important point about the electrical vehicles and what is the electrical vehicles used. These are the parts is come from that the part number 2 about their chapter number 6, and this we discussed today's here about some uh, chapter number 6 part 1 is nothing but that there is some electronic parts and how does the work with the help of some this the electronic and electrical systems or the parts is useful for some charging system. It is useful for ignition system, and it is useful for here some the starting system. So how it is work, some batteries, different kind of the battery is nothing but that there is the lead acid batteries, electrolyte batteries, galvanized cell batteries, which is helpful for some type of some supply the electrical energy to motion of the electrical vehicle. There is in front of you shown as here some electrolytes, a difference in between this cathode and anode, which is helpful for some different kind of elaborations with the help of some different um, chemical elements, and these chemical elements is shown as in purple color in cathode elements, and then yellow color is shown as some anode elements, and in between them differentiate some electrolytes liquids, and these electrolyte liquids in the form of some the solid or the liquid form. So first of all that this MXOAY is this molybdenum. This molybdenum used into the vanadium and magnesium is addition of this alloy material is used into the cathode. This cathode is useful for some supply the current in the form of some negative charge to this positive charge anode, and this anode have some different material. This different material like these lithium metals are all is alloy. So this lithium metal plus this we use this another different kind of the metal for is their lithium alloy, and when it is used there some lithium alloy, then molybdenums, and then lithium manganese, and then molybdenum we can use here some different lithium carbonates. These lithium carbonates are used into them some anode electrodes. These anode electrodes is absorbed or used this some different kind of the things used for some electrical based. In between them again we can use electrolyte material like inorganic liquids or organic liquids for the differentiate between cathode and anode. Similarly we can use here some polyanyl compound is lithium uh, compounds, or it is a metal hydrate is in the form of some solid polymers, and these solid polymers used into them metal hydrates and then nitrates. The organic molecules quinones in is used into them hybrid systems, just like that some electrical systems or CNG plus petrol type of these hybrid systems, or petrol plus electrical hybrid systems are used into them different kind of the cathode and anode material, and this which is helpful for some different kind of share things. So when we think about that, the batteries parameter which is used into them to design, and it is used to them how it is beneficial or how it is useful for some selection of for different kind of the batteries for light motor vehicles or the heavy motor vehicles, or when it is used for their the two wheelers, moped bikes, or different kind of their the superlative bike. So different advantages or the requirements we can use here. So these are the batteries into them is cell or the batteries, then charge we can calculate in the form of the ohm parameters, then energy storage, then the specific energy, then the energy density, then specific power, then the ampere charge efficiency we can calculate in the form of the ohm efficiency, then energy efficiency, self discharge rates, then battery temperature and heating and cooling needs. So with the help of that the different parameters we can find out here some battery selection for the connection to this 24 volt, 36 volt, or 12 volt batteries for power supply. Then there is a chemical reaction for charging the lead acid batteries. In front of yours is the this lead sulfuric acid is lead sulfate. This lead sulfate is connect or react with the water with the help of some the two hydrogen elements, and this reaction is lead sulfate plus water plus two atom of the hydrogens is react with the help of some the um, sulfuric acid of their leads plus sulfuric acid H2SO4, and this H2SO4 is separated from their the given lead value, and these are the H2SO4 is acts as a some cathode negative electrode material, and this negative electrode material is separated some lead values, and this lead value acts as some negative charge is connect with the DC supply. This DC supply uh, is variant voltage from the 440 voltage 11 kV volts, which is applied for some recharging this lead acid battery. So this recharging lead acid battery, which is helpful for some different kind of their different things. So when we think about some these the cathode and anode batteries, these cathode and anode batteries, we are selecting the different material for the different kind of the purpose with the help of some different parameters, and these different parameters which is helpful some the non-rechargeable or rechargeable batteries with some lead acids, which is helpful for long term and increase the efficiency of the different kind of the batteries. So when we differentiate this again in the difference between the primary cell and secondary cell, what we need say required here, it is primary cell and secondary cell is that the design to be used to once and discarded and not recharged with the electricity it reused like secondary cell in general. This electrochemical reaction occurring in the cell is not reversible, rendering the cell unrechargeable. For secondary batteries is type of the electric battery which can be charged, discharged into the load and charged up many times, and opposed to this disposable or primary batteries which is supplied fully charged and discarded after use. So when it is differentiate between this primary cell and secondary cell, this primary cell is battery that is designed to use once and then discarded is not recharged, which is nothing but that we use the one time and it is a fade out into this the wastage storage. So this is not terminologies, or this is a positive um, terminal is supplied from their negative to the positive. This some only we can use only one time, and after that using and it is a discharge battery we will throw out. For example is here the remote cell batteries, and then another some torch batteries is there. We require this kind of here some the parameters, and this parameter which is helpful for is primary cell. So when we think about the secondary cell is here these electrical batteries like which can be charged and discharged into the load, and this into the load which is helpful for where it is used into this electrical vehicle bikes or the electrical vehicles car, and charged into this many times with the help of some supply the loads from uh, points out, and these pointing out are the points which is opposed to these disposable batteries or primary circulating batteries which is supply is fully charged discharged after use. यामध्ये जे डिफरंट लोड तयार होतात ते लोड तयार होणारे प्रायमरी सेल्स असतील किंवा सेकंडरी सेल असतील, तर सेकंडरी सेल्स आता तुम्ही बघितलं असाल जे काय CFL बल्ब असाल किंवा LED बल्ब आपल्या आपल्या घरी आपण जे यूज करतो ते रिचार्जेबल आहे, किंवा बॅटरीज बघितल्या असाल तुम्ही टू व्हीलर इलेक्ट्रिकल बाईक्स किंवा कार बघितला तर ते चार्जिंगवरती असतात, ते चार्जिंगवरती आपण रियूज करू शकतो. ते जे आहे ते सेकंडरी सेल्स आहे, आणि ते सेकंडरी सेल्स आपण एक लिमिटेड पिरियडसाठी एक अप्रॉक्सिमेटली 5 to 10 years पिरियडसाठी आपण त्या बॅटरीज यूज करू शकतो. And then primary cells it is used into them is here some cathode or the anode type of some electrical waste. Then when we think some starting and requirements is here, starting system requirements with the help of some charging systems is first of all that some combustible mixture it should be in lean or in mixture is here. So when we use this rich mixture, that time the maximum fuel consumptions takes place in this combustible combustible mixture. That's why we have to maintain in lean mixtures for the starting the systems. Then the compression stroke is required. So when we think about internal combustion engine for the charging system, the compression stroke takes place after the suction stroke. There is a four stroke is here: suction stroke, compression stroke, power stroke, and then last is the exhaust stroke. For this compression stroke is creates a maximum power for some generating the maximum to create some maximum power with the help of some compressions to start the ignition system or the starting system with the help of some the generating the electrical energy to form a ignition. To form a ignition means that to uh, to create some ignition points, and these ignition points which is helpful for to generate this electrical energy for the starting system. And last point is here: the minimum initial starting speed is up to this 100 rpm, and in order to start and continuing the running. So this the torque is generated into with the help of some they given the revolutions value, the revolution value in minimum up to this 100 rpm. This 100 rpm is initial starting speed in order to start and continuing running. So then another factor is here: this rated voltage is at starting system is high, then lowest possible temperature at which the engine can start and can be started with in this is a known starting limits temperatures. Then the torque required to crank the engine at starting limits temperatures, including the initial stalled torque. And the last is here the battery characteristics. So the rated voltage of the starting system, which is the important part for some charging requirements or charging system requirements with the help of some with the different type of the voltage is 6 volt, 12 volt, or 24 volt, 36 volt. We kept into the form of some series connection or the some parallel connection. The next is here some lowest possible temperature at which the engine can still started. This is known as the starting limits temperature. The torque required for to crank engine at its starting the limit temperatures we takes place here. So this torque is nothing but that force into the revolutions or the force into the radius. This radius is takes place in the form of some rpm speed, and this rpm speed is takes place in the form of the revolution per minute. The revolution per minute takes place in the form of some the batteries characteristics. So when we think about some torque is required to crank engines at the starting temperatures, that's we require some different point of things, and this different point of things which is helpful for some battery characteristics, and this battery characteristics which is helpful for to differentiate this different kind of the things here. Next is here some torque, and this torque first of all that the engine torques. This engine torque differentiate into this brake weight and resting torques. Next is a motor torque. This motor torque again also differentiate in lock torque on the driving torque. First is engine torque. This required some different part of that which is engine will be start in minimum 100 rpm to start the engine ignition systems. Similarly, when we move from that starting to this motion which takes place into this again increasing this rpm from 100 to 200, 200 to 500, 500 to 1000 rpm. This engine torque is applied to motion this vehicle from starting position to the desired position. And is in this engine when we apply some suddenly brake the control the vehicle, suddenly apply the steering and then control the brake with the help of some the resting the torque, and that is decelerations is required into this resting torque. Next is motor torque. This motor torque which is helpful for uh, motor torque is which is helpful for this some prime mover to taken as some supply the electrical energy to the engine start with the help of some ignition system. These ignition systems is create some torque with the help of some the motion of the starter and the capacitors which is generate the electrical energy and supply to this motor torque. Next is here the driving torque. when that motor is kept in the motions to in economical conditions or to uh, get some type of some desired mileage to take in the driving torques, and this driving torques is forced into this displacement, and this force is displacement is considered in the form of the radius, which is helpful for different kind of your driving torques. The next image is last image shown is here some starting today's last point is here starting system. This starting system circuits in front of you shown is here some this the alternators, charging indicators, then starting motors, then on and off, then engine off and cut off there. So there is some image, there is image in front of shown here. I like to show is here. This is a battery. This battery is connected in is some alternator. This alternator generate the DC current to the AC current to the DC with the help of some the different requirements. The alternator we generate DC to the AC with the help of some battery is connected on this charging indicators. Is charging its start with the start is connected to this on. This when this on connect when his engine is on, there is on connection takes place with the help of some the display on the PLC on the IoT things, and this the IoT things which is helpful for this on the engines which indicator with the some charging system, and this charging system takes place into this connected to the starting motor. Similarly, when they start the engine with the help of some the starting system, this starting system again connected to this alternator and batteries with the help of some the starting motors. And when we shut down our bike or any kind of the different vehicles, this we disconnect all these things from their charging indicators to this the batteries, which is helpful for the different things. Okay, so this is all about here. This today's lecture is starting from here some the important materials used into these batteries, different type of the galvanized batteries, lead acid batteries, and some the high voltage batteries here. Then this type of the parameter is required to different batteries, which is helpful for to find out some different kind of their things. Then the charging of lead acid batteries, then the difference between this primary cell which is not reusable, not rechargeable, and secondary battery which is reusable and rechargeable, and we can use discharge into the load and recharge into the many types of opposed to the disposable batteries. Then the starting system required is here some combustible mixture is required, some compression stroke also required, some form of the ignitions from their compression stroke which is high compression ratios with the help of some starting initial speed up to their this 100 rpm in order to start this continue running. Then last is here some rated voltage in starting systems which is possible for this battery characteristics, and last is here the some torque terms. These torque terms is difference in between this engine torque and motor torque. So engine torque is here breakaway and resting torque is here, and motor torque is here some locked torques and then the driving torques. Next, this image is here some starting systems, and this starting system which is helpful for to generate this electricity, and it is transferred to the charging and indicators and any other accessories which will move with the help of some the electrical energy you can maintain into this. Okay, thank you so much.